Uninformed Movie Reviews, episode 53. Yeah. Nice. Not so round number.
2 more years until this podcast can retire.
Won't that be great? Won't that be great?
We can all hope.
But it'll probably be good for you guys since you get paid. Since I get paid nothing for this. Retirement fund's looking pretty thin.
pretty thin.
We're going to talk about something pretty thick today. Packed with wonderful characters, twists, turns, drama. We're talking about Ozark, y'all.
Ooh, are you talking about Netflix's original series, Ozark?
That's the one.
Woo! Oh, David started us off with a little grape soda.
Yeah, not to be confused with the bottled water company we all thought was Ozark or Ozarks, and turns out today it is Ozarka?
Yeah.
What?
Straight up.
Comment below. Did you think the bottled water was Ozark? Because we thought it was Ozark.
I sure as hell did.
Even weirder, it's proudly a Texan bottled
This isn't even from.
It's not even from the Ozarks.
Damn.
What the heck is going on?
They got us all, guys.
Yeah, we're learning things today. Crazy.
Okay.
Obviously, this is Frank here with Danny and David across the table from me.
Obviously.
Hitting you in the ears or right in your eyes if you're viewing on YouTube. Before we get too far into it, because I was about to hit it and it felt unnatural. Danny, why don't you plug it up?
Oh, man. Consider me a power strip because I got plugs ready to go. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Click that like button on YouTube. Also on Apple Podcasts. Help us out with a 5-star rating. It does help us out with getting our name out there. You can also do that on Spotify too. Be sure to hit the follow button. That way you can get the new episodes right in your release radar or your episodes hub right when they come out, which is typically Sunday morning. You can also follow us on Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews and in Facebook at Uninformed Movie Reviews, where we post content short and long alike.
Hey, get it.
Wow.
I know you're probably confused right now. You're like, wait, I tuned into a movie podcast. Why are we talking about an original Netflix series? We've done it before. We'll do it again. Shout out to our upcoming Umbrella Academy episode. But don't worry, we'll be just as uninformed as always.
Yeah.
Semantics, really.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, the line is blurrier and blurrier.
Yeah.
Between TV and movies.
Long gone are the years where like being in a television actor was far inferior to being a film actor. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And even then, like straight to straight to Netflix series had the stench of like straight to movie, straight to DVD. You know what I mean? But now it's just as reputable, man.
And if anything, it's like, it's weird how like the attention span of audiences has changed a bit because, you know, like I'd say movie producers have been like, you know, you can't get someone to sit down for a 3-hour movie anymore. And it's like probably true in a movie theater, but you can sure as hell get them to binge 10-hour series in one night if it's good enough.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Yeah, I don't really
Maybe the comfort
that.
of their home. Maybe that's what it is.
And binge worthy is this one. I know Danny has seen Ozark before.
Yeah, I have seen as they came out up to the recent season.
Now, David and I, we just consumed all of this in the matter of what? 2 months, maybe? A month and a half?
Probably closer to a month,
right?
I think.
That is a full-time job, 40 hours or so.
44. A little more, probably, actually.
Yeah, because we get a little bit longer in the second half of the last season. And then there's those 14 episodes. Or, 14 instead of the 10. Mm-hmm. And those last 7 are a little bit over an hour. Worth it.
Yep.
Worth it.
Worth
Totally
every bit of it.
A little bit of an open-ended discussion. I feel like a good place to start would be characters. Here's some standout characters for y'all. Why don't we go David first?
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those shows where so many of the characters are just unlikable. That's sort of the point, is how unlikable they are. But I guess we should start with old Marty Bird. That seems appropriate.
Seems logical.
Probably the most likable in the entire show.
Because he's Jason Bateman, I feel like. You can't hate on Jason Bateman too much. It's hard to get you to hate Jason.
Well, he's
Bateman.
like Michael. Man, I want to say Scott so bad. He's Michael Bluth.
Yeah.
In a way worse situation.
If you could, David, I'm curious about this really quick, if I may interject. If you were...
Wow, how an enunciation.
What an enunciation, yeah.
If you were to recast Marty Bird, Who would you have recasted?
Oh, interesting. I mean, I'm going to try hard not to do it the entire episode, but obviously Bryan Cranston would be a good choice because Ozark in a lot of ways is
very
Breaking Bad. Like it's kind of the same sort of vibe, more or less.
It's kind of an evolution of Breaking Bad, I feel like.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a different spin on it, with the starting point for sure.
Less meth.
Yeah, if anything, I'd argue that the wife Wendy is more the Walter White character than Marty Bird is.
Yeah. And Jonah.
But you need someone kind of mild mannered and someone who's also not intimidating.
Yeah.
You could almost throw in I'm not going to get his name right now, but
John Cena.
That's who I was thinking of. No,
Michael Cera. That's who you're thinking of.
Oh, that would be weird. Actually, that's too far. That's too far.
Really
No,
weird.
Adam Scott.
Oh, he would have been perfect.
Would
Yeah,
be a good one
Adam
too.
Scott would be a good one.
You're talking milk toast kind of people.
Milk toast. Got to have some dad vibes to it. That's
and
important.
you know what? I was thinking jokingly at first when the question was posited, but as you were talking, I was more like, man, that actually could work. Ray Romano.
Oh, weird.
Right?
Weird.
Right? Weird. One you'd never see coming.
You just get the whole cast of Everybody Loves Raymond. You bring him back for Ozark.
Well, except for Frank Boyle. Sadly.
Oops.
He could have played Buddy, though. That would
just
be
CGI him in there.
See, yeah. Anything's possible. No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really
Everybody
gone.
loves Ozark. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I interjected on you.
No, you're good. I mean, Marty Bird, so he's this is going to be spoiler filled. So
Yeah, I mean, come on.
there's really no point to
We're assuming y'all watched it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, if you haven't, pause right now and just go binge it out really quick. It's not that hard. We just did it.
Marty Bird, he's the money launderer. But the biggest aspect about Marty is his well, at first is like a big part of his unwillingness to participate in violence, which is a character defining trait, but also it's Marty's intelligence. That's the key aspect of the character. He can do something that no one else does because they just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's what makes him, it's what keeps him around.
Yeah, it's his survival instinct.
Yeah, and he's also he's smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
He doesn't always act like it. He's not cocky about it. But that's sort of the reason he gets there.
insanely quick on his feet.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
He's arguably the only reason that the family has survived is because of the way he thinks on the spot. But he's also got a really rare human trait, which is to not get flustered. He does not get flustered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until maybe the seam's breaking in the 4th season, maybe.
Yes, towards the end he does.
Sure. But
Something that, I'm not crazy about in the 4th season is I feel like towards the end, and I mean really like the last 3 episodes, they kind of take the reins from Marty and in his ability to direct to where everything is going. There's a moment where he takes the back seat, and so does Wendy, and almost everyone does. They just kind of get to a point where they're like, well, we're just going to play this out now. And that's the part that that's the part we're going to play. We're just going to try and relax because everything's kind of set in motion, and then we just have to see it unfold for the last final act. But
yeah, and I would almost say it's less relaxed and more like everything we've tried up to this point. Like there's nothing else left for us to do except for see how this is going to play out at this point. Just so many outside actors and influences on one situation. Just this tangled web.
Yeah, it really is. They run out of cards to play. But I love Marty's humor. Sometimes when I'm watching the show, I do my best to get like a Ron Howard narration voice. And I like to plug the scene like Marty's saying something, and I'll be like, well, it turns out he's not. You know what I mean? But I can't really get the Ron Howard all the way.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
What other characters are we looking at?
Well, if we're hitting Marty, like it's a good time to talk about his significantly worse half.
Awful
Wendy Bird.
Awful human Wendy Bird all over.
Rotten to the core.
Terrible person, where the series begins with Marty speaking to Wendy while discovering a video of her getting pounded by someone else.
Yes.
As she lies to his face.
Delicately put.
And I think even worse than that is this is when everything kind of blows up at the very beginning of the show. And then they're all going to flee. And then Laura Linney, who plays Wendy, she, knowing that the cartel is going to murder everyone, takes all their money and just leaves, tries to flee.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a pretty horrible move. And yeah, Wendy just keeps making selfish decisions the entire show.
Yeah.
I mean, what a pilot though. That first
Oh,
episode
man, that
really, really hooks you.
That lover pancake. Don't you love that?
Oh man, that was very satisfying. And even Marty says it at one point, like the sound of your lover thudding against the cement was like the one of the best sounds I've ever heard. And it's like, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
They did a great job on that sound design.
We all liked it too.
Yes.
Everybody liked that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wendy's gonna come from a background of like an abusive household that she escapes. Not to like give her an excuse. Plenty of people come from an abusive household and don't turn into giant pieces of human.
Yep.
But Wendy did.
Yeah.
She sure did. She
Wendy
took after her
sure
dad.
did.
Took after her dad quite a bit. Wendy, as a character, progresses to become such a megalomaniac, selfish, self-serving, shrewd, cutthroat, hollow human that only serves her own purpose. At some point, you're just like, what? You're not even. You have an idea of a family that you're like fighting for in your hand, in your head, and it's not your family because they definitely don't think about you like that.
I mean, it is the Walter White arc. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? She gets a little taste of power pursuing, the political sphere. Something that she had talent in, but had to put it in the backseat for her family, much like Walter White starting that company and then
Gray Matter, right?
getting out of Gray Matter, going to be a teacher and everything. But I mean, she's really good at it. She's really good at it. It's just a very unlikable character. I mean, for my third Breaking Bad comparison, she's like Skyler, but 1,000 times worse, I think.
Yeah, Skyler and Walter White.
She's like Skyler, but you can't sympathize with her very much
No.
as opposed to
because she's not trying to follow like morale.
No.
or
Yeah,
anything
if
like that.
halfway through Breaking Bad, Skyler had become the one taking the reins while Walter White was like, "Hey, like we gotta chill out and figure out a way out of this," and she was like, "No, I just lit a bridge on fire just for fun, just because it felt like what I needed to do in that moment, and I knew it would piss you off too."
Yeah.
That would be Wendy Bird.
Her vengeful nature, which you can kind of see coming out of her dad as they show more of her dad in season 4. Because, I mean, some of the things she does in season 2 and even season 3 too that are just straight up spite moves. You're just like, she's just off her rocker,
There's a couple. Speaking of Wendy's dad, who's played by Richard Thomas, he's from the Waltons, and he's in the original It. He's
John Boy?
He's the original. What's the character's
Bill.
name? Bill.
Stuttering Bill.
Yeah, he's in the original TV It. He's like an alcoholic dad who's like a little abusive when he's drinking is what we kind of get but I also feel like, man, it's probably just like a lot of people's dads.
Yeah. Mine.
Especially like from that generation.
Yeah.
Like
Not-
Bible Belt,
But-
dad,
Not
Bible
that
Belt
unusual.
Southern dad.
But he is now a born again, acting sober.
Yeah, at least the facade is.
There's the
like him
facade
being born
of,
again,
as many of these people do.
I really liked seeing Richard Thomas's performance. I assume this guy was like retired or something. I haven't seen him in years.
No.
I mean, he did great. The angry drunk eyes, did a really good job of like playing plastered, but still getting across the like sick satisfaction of
Sadistic
fucking with his daughter. Yeah.
Well, that, and then you get to see like his grossness comes out when he like talks to Ruth too.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, this guy is a sleaze bag
Yeah,
when
this
he
guy's
hits
scummy.
the bottle,
Yeah, I mean, they were pretty drunk. Yeah, they cleaned that bottle out pretty fast.
Of course, I feel like we also do have to give credit to Laura Linney. She does great performances.
Oh,
It's just that
fantastic.
the character is just so hated. You know what I mean? But it's a
She
testament.
is quite possibly the worst one in the whole series, and we're talking about a series full of like lifelong cartel members.
murdering
Yeah.
cartels and people like Cade Langmore. She beats out like Cade Langmore, who is
Even,
Ruth's
something as evil as like a pharmaceutical CEO.
dad. Right.
Yeah.
Shaw.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? Laura Linney, she's also, she's in The Big C, which is like
Oh, she's got a big C too.
yeah, it's her big role.
Okay.
Nice.
She's also in Truman Show. She's
That's right.
She's the wife.
Yes.
Dude, I had not connected
Yeah.
those dots in my head. Yeah.
That must be why she has so much experience at like lying to people's
Yes.
face.
Yeah.
And just selling it.
There's a little bit of that character in there. And then she's also the attorney in Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Huh.
She's the main attorney, the one who defends Emily Rose.
Emily Rose's
Might
family.
be a time for a rewatch. It's been a long time since
That's a
I've
good
seen
movie.
that movie.
It's fun. I watched it last Halloween.
There's some problems.
It holds up pretty well. I mean, it's a little clunky, but it's a good movie.
It's what The Conjuring 3 should have been.
Oh, Jesus.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, we don't have to bring that up. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I do just have to say though, again, like the ride of Ozark is a good ride, but at the end, it's another thing similar to my complaint with Marty, is that Wendy, who's someone who just enjoys calling the shots, someone who enjoys dictating every single action, right at the end, she checks herself into a mental hospital for the last like 2 episodes.
Well, that's still
seems so uncharacteristic.
It was
It's
a
a manipulation.
Yeah.
I guess, but
She was like, it was an emotional manipulation.
It was
against
to
her
make
kids,
Charlotte
yeah.
stay, right? It was to make Charlotte like feel bad or to make her family feel bad.
it's just
really.
it's such a play that takes complete control away from her though.
Sure.
Which doesn't seem to match what Wendy would normally do.
Well, no, she still had the control. When you check yourself into a mental hospital, you can
Yeah.
leave whenever you want.
That's true.
Yeah, but she knows that her kids could be leaving at any moment when they decide to go live with John Boy.
But at the same time, she's like manipulating Marty to be making the moves that she
Yeah.
would be making outside. But it doesn't hit right if she doesn't have the card. Well,
It
your
is-
mom's in a mental institution.
I mean,
right
it's
now.
a new set of moves for her
Yeah.
in which she is letting go of control in order to retain control.
It's just so interesting to me that like in a show where she doesn't ever let Marty make a decision
Yeah.
or it's just so often undermines him at any moment that literally the thing most important to her, she decides my biggest move is going to be to take myself out of this equation. Maybe she's coming to the realization that like, oh, I am terrible.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem very Wendy-esque to back out. And then as soon as that's over, she comes back out and just starts doing the old Wendy thing
Yeah,
again.
she's just
That's
back
what
to
I'm
being
saying.
Wendy.
She's back to puppet mastering.
That's what I'm saying. She was
Yeah.
puppet mastering the whole time. She never left.
That's
She
interesting.
was just had a different play.
Yeah, I don't really see it.
I don't think there was
I don't
any
really
part
see
of
it.
her that was like, oh no, I'm doing this for everybody's safety. Like, I don't think that thought ever crossed her mind. You know what I mean?
But is there another part where she says, I'm going to let Marty make this decision and I'm not going to interfere? You know what I mean? Like, is there ever a moment where she's like, I need to get myself out of this equation because you know what? I'm messing it up. I feel like she doesn't have that in her.
I don't know.
To admit that
I don't
she's
even
the
think
one.
she left it all up to Marty because like she meets with Marty in there and she tells him like, I'm not leaving until I have my kids back. Like, you need to
Yeah.
go get the kids back.
She's
be here waiting.
throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
That seems very much putting it in Marty's court, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
She's
rare.
letting him know you need to do it.
Well-
which is
well,
funny
at
too,
this-
because then Marty also is like, "Oh, this is really important. Let me give it to Ruth. Like, let me pass this off
The
again."
fate of my family.
yeah,
Yeah, Marty will outsource it. He has no problem outsourcing.
That's true.
he is definitely a what's the supervisor? He's a
Yeah.
supervisor.
Yeah, he can delegate.
Well, especially later on because someone else takes the reins or at least learns from his dad how to do things, and the focus becomes less so much on Marty being a savant, even though that's what saves him and keeps him alive, but knowing that it's more so how they're running their empire versus how useful Marty's skills are.
Yes.
Which is kind of that reaches a plateau and a climax in like season 3 with Marty, which is with making the deal with Maya, I think is.
Well, another interesting thing about that function of Marty, and I guess we can kind of get into Jonah a little bit here, but Jonah, his son, picks up money laundering pretty quick.
On the internet.
And it's also just kind of like he gets so incredibly good at it so fast. At first I was like, man, are they making Jonah... It seems like too easy that he got at this, but there is that really pivotal scene of like when Wendy flags him intentionally.
Yeah.
You know, Jonah has moved out really because he just hates his mom for killing his uncle.
Fair.
And then Wendy flags his account, which this is another thing we got to bring up right now, but by finding his password. Anyway.
Right. A cybersecurity expert.
Yeah. I can't get over that Jonah, a Xennial, is writing his password down in a book.
Yeah.
This seems like a foreign concept.
Yeah,
And
what do Xennials use? Like a digital keychain?
maybe,
I mean,
right?
I'm just gonna say that Michael Scott did the same thing when Sadiq came in for the IT in the
that's
office.
right.
Where
That's
it's literally posted on the screen.
Yeah, but Michael Scott's an idiot. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
wow.
Jonah is like, a modern day kid who grows up on, like, it'd be like if we were writing down our passwords in a little notebook.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
And then
definitely
keeping
don't
it.
do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's funny because Wendy has to get into his computer. This is the second time in Ozark that Wendy has to get into someone's computer. And the first time she's trying to figure out Marty's password for his laptop in season 1, I think. And Marty's password is his subscription number from Business Magazine or whatever the Michael Scott magazine is. It's like
somehow I managed.
and, she just kind of, she's like looking around the room. She picks up the magazine and sees the number. She's like, okay, I'm going to put this in. And I'm
That's a
like,
weird. Yeah.
This is a leap, man. This is a weird one. And to do it twice was just the big move that I
like
was
father,
like,
like son, man.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I was almost, when she started looking at the password, I was like, oh, has he got any magazines in this room? What's going on here? He's got guns and ammo in here. This little maniac.
Yeah. The natural progression of Jonah as turning against Wendy is, I mean, I would have probably done the same thing. Charlotte wants to too. Charlotte's just not as resourceful as Jonah is, unfortunately.
Yeah, and there's that line in like season 3, right, when Ben's staying at the house, like initially, where he tells Wendy like, "Wow, this Jonah kid's pretty cool. He's like a little you," but he eventually becomes so much like Marty. But the way he plants he cements his feet in his hatred of his mom and just holds there and does things to like with her intentionally. That's like the Wendy part, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
That's his mom that's in him.
Definitely.
And it's funny because at first they accuse him of being like Ben, like he's going to be little Ben.
Yeah.
When they sort of tease that he has some kind of, mental issue. But
What a great confrontation.
yeah.
They thought I was going to shoot up a school?
I really like Jonah. I think he has interesting things to do in season 4.
Yeah.
Whereas his sister Charlotte kind of gets the backseat
Yeah.
in season 4. But I mean, it's just one of these things that when you have a cast that's so huge, Charlotte had more interesting things to do in the first few seasons, and then she just kind of plays along. That's her role.
She's just kind of hanging out, smoking weed.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that there's always one better sibling than the other,
Well, that's true too.
as we know.
Yeah. Shout out to John.
He knows.
But
So, I mean, as far as core cast, that's pretty much core cast.
Core Bird family.
Charlotte.
Core Bird family, yeah.
Yeah.
We've like mentioned her, but I mean, she kind of just is what she is for the most part.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
She comes up being, her arc is kind of cool in the way that she becomes very much like Wendy to the point
Yeah.
when she's like manipulating Aaron. She hits the look at me, Aaron, like when she's kind of freaking out, which is a direct play out of Wendy's book. Like you see Wendy do that multiple times. Became like a nice little manipulator. Probably didn't end up going to college though.
Well, the other big thing with Charlotte is her relationship with the Langmores with Wyatt.
That's true.
But then that
That kind of goes down.
derails. They sort of abandon that idea for
Very abruptly.
for some other reasons that are going to come up. But I guess we could talk about the Langmores.
Yeah, let's hit the
Oh,
Langmores.
yeah. We're missing out on, firstly, Ruth Langmore.
Yeah, the main Langmore.
The most
Langmore.
cutthroat of the Langmore clan, who are a local crime syndicate family. I say crime syndicate with a lot of that's putting it above what it is.
Yeah, they're country bumpkins.
Yeah, they are, but they're good. She's cutthroat though. She's probably the most intelligent out of all of them, and they can pull off a job.
Well, I was gonna say I think Wade's the most cutthroat, but he lacks the intelligence. Ruth has the perfect balance. She knows exactly like how far to push it.
That's right. Wade actually
Cade.
Cade's dad.
Yeah.
Cade's Ruth's dad, who's in prison for the first season.
Yeah, he's in jail for the first season. We also have it's like there's six Langmores
Russ
originally.
Langmore's the other one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
And 3 of them die. All the older ones die in the first season. Second season, maybe?
First season. End of first season.
Is it all well?
No.
When does Cade get it?
Cade gets it season 2, I
Season
think.
2.
Kate, that was great. Okay, wait.
Ruth kills her uncles in the first season to protect Marty.
Yeah,
Which
fries
is
them up real good.
sad because you do get to care a little bit about Russ Langmore.
Yeah, the other one seems
Wyatt's
kind of
dead.
whatever. But
Yeah.
Russ is.
I bet he's fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he's
But
probably fun to hang out.
Russ it's interesting because there's a subplot where Russ and the FBI agent that is after the birds fall in love, and it's kind of like a catalyst for like Agent Petty, who is the person that he falls in love with, like failing the job.
Aptly named guy to Agent Petty.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude is petty.
So those two Langmores are out, and the next season, Wendy has Cade killed, Ruth's dad.
Right. In a perfect Wendy fashion.
Yes. And then we got 3 Langmores left. Wyatt, so Wyatt's like the middle young one. He's still in high school.
Yeah.
And ends up at first just sleeping with Darlene Snell, crazy old lady.
Because she bailed him out.
Yeah. And then ends up marrying Darlene Snell.
Yeah.
And adopting
Gotta
Zeke.
help her keep that baby.
And adopting the baby that they ripped out of a pastor.
Yeah.
Pastor's wife.
Pastor's
Yeah,
wife.
this is complicated to talk about everything all at once, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because there's going to be some like characters that come in who seem like they're going to play a big role, and they do, but a lot of them, their big role is like their death.
yeah,
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
I mean, if we just do like a general overarching thing of the season, we don't have to go into the minutia of it, but like season 1, like the Birds are a Chicago accountant family. Marty Bird works for an accounting firm with his partner, and they find out that his partner has been laundering money. Well, they know that this partner has been laundering money for the cartel, but he's been skimming off the top, which is a no-no. So the cartel confront them, and Marty Bird is about to die. But he starts sputtering just nonsense with the brochure that he was actually handed by his partner like earlier for the Ozarks, saying it's so easy to launder money down there. Like, we're going to figure out a way, and I can get you like triple what you need.
It's got more beachfront property than California.
And he wasn't even on his feet. He was quick on his knees on that
Dude,
one.
I mean, yeah, he had a gun in his face and he thought on his feet. And then afterwards he was like, what am I going to do? So that's pretty much the starting what perpetuates the rest of the season.
Is Marty just trying to make good on a promise that was totally unfounded at the time of making it?
Yeah, and him setting up, the original money laundering, trying to fit into the Ozark. That is season 1 for sure.
Right, where he takes over some failing businesses like the Blue Cat and starts to
The strip club.
Yeah. And then you get an intro. I mean, you have the typical setup of a season where a new FBI agent is like on them and getting close and derails a bit.
Yeah.
And,
That part made me think very much of the Sons, the way the Sons does their antagonist like heroes. Every like season or two, you'll get the new sheriff or the new DEA agent. It's like the new one who's like hot on the tail, or in this case, the private investigator.
Private Investigators season 4.
Or Dick, if you will.
Season 2 is like when all the politics come in.
That's
when
right.
it starts playing the political game.
With Charles something.
They're just getting more and
Schwab.
more money.
Let's go with Schwab.
Yeah, Charles Schwab of the
Charles
Ozarks. That's right. Yeah. So season 1 is when I'm trying to remember the complete ending of season 1. But
Well, even before the end, we get some big moments in season 1. Marty's original contact with the cartel is a gentleman named Dell.
that's right.
Dell calls Darlene and her husband Jacob rednecks, at which point Darlene shoots his face off with a shotgun.
And Darlene and her husband Jacob own a large piece of land, the largest pieces of land in the Ozarks, I believe.
Yes.
And they grow poppies for heroin because they're heroin manufacturers, but they're willing to flood a lot of their land to make room for the Riverboat Casino.
Yeah.
So the end.
Well, I don't think the casino's yet.
It's not yet. This is just the planning. They had just agreed with Dell and the cartel because it was about to be a shootout. But of course, Marty Bird thinks on his feet and saves it so that they're all in business with each other. But the season ends with Dell getting shot in the face.
Yeah.
So moving on to season 2, the opening of the casino, right?
No,
No, not yet.
I don't think we
casino's
get there
3.
till like
Is it 3? Okay.
yeah, we get to the big moves being made on the casino like the end of season 2.
That's
You know
right.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the end of season 2, we're buying the boat.
They're buying
we're,
the
like paying
boat,
people
yeah.
off.
That's right.
Well, and that's why season 2 is all about the politics, because they're trying to get the gambling license. You got all the stuff with Cade and Ruth
And Casey
having
Mob.
to interact with each other.
Got to screw the Snells out of their land.
Yeah, Casey Mob shows up, and I'm pretty sure this is when Darlene kills her husband Jacob
Yes.
this season.
Because he wouldn't agree to it.
Yeah, and I'm also pretty sure this is the season where they end up killing the preacher and his
Yes.
wife.
That's what it was, is that the cartel was going to launder money through the construction of the preacher's new church,
But they
the
didn't want
Snells
that,
want
yeah.
him on the water.
Because that's how they deal their drugs.
Right.
So
Through Bibles.
adding more complications. Season 3 is the season. Oh, well, you know what else happens in 2? Buddy dies.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the season
yeah.
ends. They're
As
burning
he
down
lights-
the poppy field.
yeah.
Which we totally glazed over, but what a great character.
Yeah, Buddy's a lot of fun.
Very key to like to Jonah's development as a character, both in like his development like as a man, and then teaching him how to shoot, which comes in handy.
Yeah. And
Couple times.
how often do you get it where you buy a sweet lakefront property and you get the owner along with it too?
Yeah, we'll throw in this naked old man.
That is a weird deal.
Yeah.
That is like a deal that I don't think ever happens in real life. But
Maybe in the Ozarks
maybe
it
in
does.
Ozark, but who knows? Crazy stuff going on over there. Yeah, 3's the riverboat. That's what it opens up with, is them opening up the casino, which I can't remember the name of.
The Missouri Belle,
the
The Missouri Belle. That's right.
which is a genius way to launder money.
Yeah.
And they are doing quite well at it until they get audited by the FBI.
Yes.
Dang old audits, man. It'll get you.
And while that's going on and they're tiptoeing around the FBI, Ben shows up, who is Wendy's brother, who has bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And he falls in love with Ruth, and he just can't keep his dang mouth shut.
He has been hospitalized before too,
Yes.
and that's I think he was hospitalized for
For a while. Yeah, he gets out, he comes to visit, gets off his meds, and then unfortunately,
gets off his meds because he falls in love with Ruth.
yeah, and as a big liability, Wendy has him killed, which is probably the biggest turning point for Wendy.
For sure.
Yeah, because she already takes the first step into the deep end when she has Cade killed, and the cartel lawyer who we hadn't talked about yet, Helen, big scary Helen,
Big Bird.
Yeah, she tells her when they're discussing the idea of having Cade killed, like, you need to think long and hard about this, because this is a decision you can't come back from. Like, everything will be different after this. You will be a different person.
The saying is that killing gets easier once you do the first, right?
And then she just walks right through that door, but by the time she like has Ben killed, she's like sealing the other end of the door.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? There is no turning
Family's
back.
not off limits.
Yeah. And she still like she struggled with it a bit after she had already done the act. You know what I mean? She's there on the side of the road crying and all that stuff. But I think that was like her last bits of humanity.
To be fair, there were a couple of moments where she could have gotten Ben to just leave safely.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
yeah.
if she had not just told Ben to stay to spite Marty,
That was the problem.
not only would Ben not have died, but a ton of other stuff would.
And he wouldn't
never
have found out about the cartel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's Wendy's fault.
Oh, for sure.
Because she gets him to find out about. Well, Ben sees Marty getting kidnapped from the Belle.
Yeah, this is Marty's season of going to Mexico, and we get to see the cartel. You know, we get to see more about him, learn about him, how they work.
We
Which
meet
they also go to Mexico in Arrested Development.
Yeah, they do.
Hey.
Marta.
We meet Omar Navarro, the new head of the Navarro cartel.
Yeah,
Current.
Right.
Current. I don't
It
think
always
he's new.
been.
Current
Dell
head.
worked for Omar.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a tussle between Helen trying to undermine Wendy and Wendy trying to undermine Helen.
Which is really fun to watch play out,
It
that
is.
power struggle.
Because Helen's daughter also is family friends now with the Birds.
Yes.
So there's a lot more interweaving going on
And
there.
she's unaware of what they do, whereas the whole Bird family, kids included, they know. So
It's the family business for
Yeah.
the
Which
Birds.
Helen's defining rule of herself to the Birds was, my daughter cannot find out what I do.
yeah,
And
until Ben breaks that.
Uncle Ben breaks that.
Yeah,
Uncle Ben.
great power comes great responsibility. But yeah, they could have even just hit the witness protection program before they, you know.
Even before Maya. Well, Maya gives him so many chances.
Yeah, well, I mean, when Ben is there, you know, they could
Yeah.
have taken that option out, but
The cartel would have found them eventually.
yeah, you know, that does get into like a would they really have been able to get through it? Or she even says you have to serve jail time first.
At least 18 months.
18 months. And it's like, Marty's going to die in jail.
He's going to make it
Definitely.
like 2 weeks if he's lucky.
Yeah. There's no way.
And I mean, more often than not, in a lot of these situations, which is actually, you get to see more of this in season 4, even though the FBI is willing to make deals, they're more willing to have everyone just get killed. It's just easier. Get one person arrested and everyone gets killed. It's way easier for them.
Less paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you get into season 4 and like Marty has to really decide, because they keep trying to make a new deal with the FBI. What if we get you this person? What if we get you this person? What if we do this? And what if they testify this? And
Okay, so that guy's dead. So what if instead?
Yeah, exactly. It is interesting that they don't paint the FBI as positive either. No one is positive in this group.
Yeah.
Fuck
the
the
FBI,
FBI,
also
right?
sucks too. Yeah.
All the politicians are terrible. Like, everyone is awful.
Oh, did you notice that one senator is played by the senator in X-Men?
Yeah, I was like, this guy just has a senator face.
He's gonna go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
He's the one
who's
whose son is Angel, right?
Right.
Yeah. Wait, no, he's from the early X-Men.
His son is the one with all the amalgamation of powers. Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think Mystique kills him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because he's made by Stryker.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fun. We'll rank the X-Men movies next. No, that's a lot. There's some really bad.
bad ones.
Let's talk about rank of the stank.
Dude, there's like 12 or 13 of those movies too. There's a lot of X-Men movies when you start counting them.
I jumped off
12.
early on that train ride.
There's 6.
There's the 3 original X-Men movies.
Right.
Then there's 4 with the young cast.
4.
Then there's there's a Logan trilogy.
Oh, I guess that counts.
Yeah.
Okay. And then and then Logan.
Mutants.
Yeah. Oh my God! I watched that. That was the worst thing.
That sounds
ever,
really
dude.
bad.
Oh, it was so bad. Okay, so there's like 9 movies.
Dude, there's a
then.
lot. There's a lot of movies, man.
And Triple X and Triple X2 and Triple X State of the Union.
Yes, those are X-Men movies. And then also
State of the
Deadpool
Union.
1 and 2, if you want to count them, I guess.
Oh shoot!
They're part of that universe.
And Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness.
now.
Spoiler alert. So anyway, back to Ozark. And I guess all the way back to the Langmores.
Yeah, we're still in season 3, right?
I think we're in 4 now. aren't
Are we?
We're everywhere.
Well, okay. Let's get
the
to
series has ended.
Yeah.
Let's get to the end of season 3. What's like the action, the climax action? Omar Navarro is arrested, right? I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
I gotta be honest. I can't tell you what happens in what season.
Okay.
Yeah, you watch them as seasons. I watched them as a series.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean, there wasn't.
It was one big tale.
I feel like I found out a couple of days ago that season 4 was 2 parts.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know that.
So I'm pretty sure Omar Navarro gets into custody and he's trying to work out like a deal with the FBI because the deal with
I don't think so. I think it's season 4.
is he arrested at the
I don't
beginning
think
of season
he's
4?
arrested until season 4 because season 4 starts with the party.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I'm
true.
thinking-
Season 3
I'm
ends
thinking-
with Helen getting shot in the head.
I'm thinking season 4 part 1.
Yeah.
That's what's
Season 3 ends with the Birds organizing with the FBI to take out the Lagunas cartel.
That's what it is because there's a cartel war.
Yeah, and they're the rival cartel, and then they get there, and I guess because of just how valuable Wendy and Marty are, they just kill Helen on the spot.
Oh yeah.
Which you think is going to be, although honestly, it did seem pretty.
Who is
like,
more valuable?
It's
Yeah.
like Helen's dying. As soon
The
as we get
moment
here.
Helen asked her driver Frank Nelson, the hitman, like if you ever
Nelson.
got the call from me,
Yeah.
like you would tell me, right? And he just says yes without hesitating. I'm like, this dude's gonna kill her.
He's a liar.
Yeah,
He's a
this
murderer.
guy is going to murder this lady at some point, and then he does.
One thing that I think keeps this show from being like, for my 4th time, Breaking Bad tier, is that it's sometimes in a show like Breaking Bad, which is paced very similarly, or even some really good episodes of Sons, they take you to a place where you're just like a little bit blown away. You're like, I can't believe this is the decision that's happening right now. Whereas other than like Darlene banging Wyatt,
That's a weird one.
not too many things threw me off guard. Like that whole situation with Wendy's a perfect example where I'm like, well, this has to play out this way. Because obviously, like as soon as Wendy was talking to Omar saying, oh, the Birds are no good, I want to take control of their operation.
Hey, Helen.
I was like, or Helen, sorry. There's so many white names. I was like, Helen's done for. You know what I mean? There's no way she's going to make it because ultimately Marty is irreplaceable. That's really the key factor here.
Well, and
He's the
Omar
golden goose.
Omar likes Wendy too. They have like night conversations. Like he gets a motherly thing from her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really weird kind of vibe.
It's like a Homelander kind of vibe going on here.
Well, he probably like senses something familiar in her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well,
She's
you
cutthroat.
won't let anything stop like your mission either. Like, I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, Omar Navarro is a good character.
He is. He's really good. I really love that character. Well, I mean, I love him is a weird word because he's like a psychopath. But
You can love him.
You could
But
love a
he's-
psychopath.
he's good.
You're just not going to get love back.
You know what psychopath I don't love though is Javi.
Javi
Season 4
Navarro.
is psychopath. He's just
God,
like,
I hate this guy.
I like
he's
the
frustrating.
purpose that he serves. You know what
yeah.
I mean? He's even though he's great, he's the younger generation of the cartel. You know what I mean? He thinks he knows the best ways. He's overzealous. He gets a lot of his like
He's Ryan.
cutthroat.
Oh, Ryan.
He's like bearded Ryan.
I was
who goes to
gonna
work
say-
for Dunder Mifflin.
That's a good comparison. I was
Yeah.
gonna say he's Don Vincenzo from Godfather 3.
Oh, okay.
He's the new. He's like hot headed and ready to hit the violence and everything. And
So is Javi banging one of his cousins? Is that what you're
I mean,
saying?
probably I
He
wouldn't
might
put
be,
it
dude.
past him, dude.
yeah.
He's
Well,
weird
no, they're
like
all
that.
dead apparently. Everyone in that
man.
family's just dying. Yeah, he kind of takes the place as the villain or the new cartel boss until
It's hard to say villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're all
Like,
villains.
Outside force.
While Omar is
in prison.
In prison,
He's the calling the shots, and then when Javi's killed, the one who is sort of surprisingly actually, it's the mom who steps up. She's introduced as a character who doesn't seem like she's going to be all that important, but
Javi's killed by Ruth. That's a big pivotal part.
yeah,
too.
there's a
That's
lot
really-
of wires crossing here.
When that happened, I don't mean to interject too, but I am going to. But when that happened, that sealed the fate for Ruth. I knew for sure.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can get away from that. Well, especially because Ruth also, and it's the same thing. Like when I was talking about with his Marty and Wendy decisions, Ruth's I think is a little more justified. But like in the last 3 or 4 episodes, she just decides, "Hey, you can't launder money here. We're out. We're done."
That was weird.
And I was like, Ruth, you're smart enough to know this is a decision you can't be making.
Right.
Like they're not just
That
going to let you
they
walk
can't be
away.
making, yeah.
Yeah. But I think there's also a moment where she's just kind of like a little bit done. You know what
Sure.
I mean?
Well, that's exactly
She's
what
done
it
with the
is.
self-preservation.
She's lost the last thing she truly cares about, like with Wyatt dying. Like, sure,
Yeah.
3's her cousin too, but they don't have the same connection that like her and
Well,
Wyatt.
also
had.
no one cares about 3.
yeah, he's the redhead. What are you gonna do?
Everybody hates 3.
Everyone, like when 3
I
came
don't-
back as an adult, you were just like, oh, I forgot about that kid.
I don't hate 3. Yeah, I just
He's just a character that they have no room
you could
for.
just drop off. You know what I mean?
I was telling Michelle that 3 is like when you watch a sitcom and in an early episode they have a character who mentions they have a sibling and they never visit it again. Like I think in season 2 of Sunny, there's a line of dialogue where Charlie says he has a sister.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, this is never brought up ever again. And that's what happened with 3, but they just made the mistake of showing him a few more times. Even in the Farewell to Ozarks, a little special they do, there's a line where the director of the show, like one of the writers is like, yeah, and then, it's a sad tragedy because the entire Langmore family is wiped out. And I'm like,
Well, no.
what? There's 3.
well, like the important ones.
3's still there. What's going on with this guy? It's so rude.
Hey, but now 3's one of the biggest landowners in.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest
weird.
landowner in the Ozarks. you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
he is the only Langmore now.
He
He has all of Darlene's land, and then he's got all that.
he comes in second place because really the birds win out ultimately.
Yeah. But to speak on what you're saying, yeah, I agree with you that Ruth, she loses Wyatt. That's a huge blow to her. The only thing that throws me off with this whole thing is that she is building the house. You know what I mean? So
Right.
she is having this moment of like, I'm going to turn my life
gonna
around.
stay.
Let me go to Florida and get back druggy chick from season 1. Let's bring her back in the
For
fold.
what reason? I don't know.
Yeah, it just that doesn't line up to me with all of a sudden now I'm gonna pick a move that's legitimately suicidal.
Yeah.
Where she's so close to getting out of it. Although honestly, it's the health late. What's her
Shaw.
name? Shaw,
Yeah.
who sells her out.
Which I get.
I mean, yeah,
They have no connection to each other. And
she's like, dog, I'm out of here.
and she's
Yeah.
a cutthroat. Like,
I could see her making these decisions because she, at this point, is assuming like there's no way Marty and Wendy are actually going to tell the cartel what happened because then they're all going to be killed. So she thinks like she's got Marty by the balls, and by a lot of In a lot of instances, she does.
Are you
know
talking
what
about
I mean?
Shaw?
No, I'm
she's
talking about Ruth.
Oh, by Ruth.
Ruth's
Okay.
choice of saying no, you can't.
The Shaw lady has nobody by the balls. She's along for the ride for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, her role is like she's essentially part of the Sackler family, as in real life, like that ran Purdue Pharma.
Yeah.
Like they got exposed and they're trying to rebrand themselves to stay alive. And she knows that like taking on this corporation, she's going to need to do something drastic to like even compete. I.e. getting in bed with the cartel, even though I think she just had one meeting. And it was like a proposed meeting. And I think they even mentioned it in the show. And I was just like thinking to myself when it was going on, I was like, you don't just have a meeting with the cartel.
Yeah.
There's
Whenever
no-
a character meets with the cartel,
You
it's
don't
like,
know.
You don't just say no.
yeah.
Yeah, once you've agreed to the meeting, you're pretty much in for it.
Yeah. I mean,
But anyways, back to Ruth's final decisions. Like, I don't think I feel like her building her big house there. It's
Yeah.
like it's to one, like fulfill that dream for Wyatt, and for two, like she is like a business owner there now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has her roots in the Ozarks.
She's digging.
She's not trying to run away from the Langmore name anymore. Like they mentioned earlier in the Marty at some points, like, well, why don't you just change your name? She's like, well, no, I like the name. Like she just wants to change the connotation behind the name, which she's kind of guided to by.
who are we talking about?
We're talking about Snell, Darlene.
Oh, yeah.
Darlene kind of points her in that direction.
You know, in the course of this show, if it's not Wendy screwing things up, it's Darlene screwing things up.
You know, Darlene, she has a bit of a turn towards the end
Sure.
where I'm like, oh, Darlene's she's pretty all right. You know what I mean? Whereas most of the show, I'm like,
kinda
oh,
insufferable.
I hate this lady.
But she also looks like a ring wraith. She literally looks like a ring wraith.
Michelle loves it's like, man, this lady's got all this money, but she can't buy a brush. Like,
Right?
She can't comb her hair ever.
She could, but she's a mountain lady. You know?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
I guess that's true.
She
But
looks in that simple life.
She's got dead eyes, is what I'm saying. She looks like
like a shark, like a doll.
a wraith. Yeah, like straight up. Yeah, and she's got a growl too.
Well, you know, she's got like with the how casually she expels people from this mortal coil. You know
Yeah.
that she's got a pretty hefty body count before the series even starts.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I mean, and then
Like,
with
there's
Wyatt,
bodies all over that place.
with Wyatt too, she's got another body count.
Yo, like that scene where where she shoots that famous chef's after that chef like overdoses and he
she
takes
just
Ruth back
shoots the
and she just shoots
driver.
that guy for trying to blackmail them.
Oh my gosh.
The look on Wyatt's face and Ruth's reaction of she says something like, "What the Darlene? What the actual and
Yeah.
you can see the look on Wyatt's face. Like it reminds me of Hocus Pocus when they pull that dead dude out of the ground. His face looks exactly like that. Like, what the hell just happened? I need to get
Good
out
reference.
of here.
I can just picture that guy in my face right now.
does she kill Frank Sr. in front of Wyatt too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kills a couple people.
That's after this one, and that's when Wyatt decides,
Yeah.
yo, I'm out of here. Like,
Yeah.
I've been with this lady for a couple of months. I've seen her shoot 2 people like point blank. Like, I need to leave.
Yeah, that is what he decides until he says, no, I'm going to stay in marriage.
Oh, well, she's gonna lose the baby.
I
Well,
gotta,
let me marry her.
yeah.
I gotta stay for little Zeke.
It's not a green card marriage, but same vein.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's a weird reason why he stays.
He's like a dumb kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's intelligent,
Yeah.
but he's like a dumb young kid.
He's following his
He's
heart.
young and dumb and full of
Not
hope.
Something, yeah.
Nah, he's all drained out, man. But
Yeah, after Darlene got
after
to him,
Darlene,
she
dude,
really knows
he's-
what she's doing.
that well is run dry.
I'm bareback.
But
She's old.
Ain't that the truth?
That well has run dry, if you will.
You know what though? That's really Frank Cosgrove's fault for going over to Darlene's house.
I know, man.
Like notable psychopath with no one else.
Yeah.
No backup, no 2 mob
Part
henchmen.
of the mob, dude. Yeah,
Dude.
where's the 2 guys who are bigger
Yes,
than you
dude.
for some
He's
reason?
they're always there with him, but
This
the time
lady-
when she drives to he decides to drive to her house. He's like, "Nah, I'll go on my own."
This lady literally shot your son's off with a shotgun.
And also, it's like, man,
She apologized.
Yeah.
Cosgrove Jr. is so hot-headed that it's incredible that he comes around to working with Darlene.
And you actually like him.
but
I think he's totally likable.
he's a little less cocky afterwards, isn't he?
Well, he got well, and there's that line too where they allude to like him getting some type of penile transplant or
Yeah.
something like that. And Darlene's like, hey, from what I hear, like you
It's
got
bigger,
a little,
man.
you got a little something extra. So, you know, he's got to walk around with the cane for a little bit, but all in all, pretty good. Pretty good trade-off.
Yeah.
Got his dad's empire, bigger penis.
A robo penis.
And also, like, one of few people to really survive at the end of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Considering all the people who are going to go out.
I'm sure he'll get whacked off one day.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm hoping so.
Oh, yeah.
With the new one.
I think it'll work. I think it'll work.
So I guess that brings us to near the closing, right?
Yeah.
I guess if we want to keep talking about plot, I don't know. I feel like before we round out to the closing, are there any other characters? Oh, Sheriff.
Nixon.
Sheriff Nixon.
Nix? Or
Nix? Yeah, Nix.
I think it's Nix.
I'm dying to know what the Snells had over him. The whole series I was waiting to
they never
find out.
say.
Well, they
what-
do say that he was childhood friends with Jacob Snell. So
No, but they're like they keep dropping lines like after all we've done for you. Like they blackmail him several
that's true.
times. They allude to some deep dark secret, but we never find out what it is, and that's probably the thing that's the most unsatisfying for me. I was dying to know.
maybe it's not even anything that big. Maybe it's just like they have a photo of him like in a dress in the 70s.
Probably.
You know, it's some old school thing. Who knows?
We also forgot about Mel Saddam, the PI.
The PI we mentioned.
Saddam,
him
I barely know.
briefly.
we
Nice.
we mentioned him briefly, but I mean, he's kind of a big part of us. He's a big subplot of part 4 of season 4. You know what I mean? He's working
he,
for Wendy's dad.
drives the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he feels like he's there to drive the plot a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. I mean, I don't really care about Mel Saddam, but
No.
he's important because he's the one he's like the best detective in the show. You know
He's
what
a
I mean?
disgraced cop from the Chicago PD, right?
Yeah.
And that's why he becomes a PI, and he falls in love with Maya. He's really digging Maya.
Yeah, I got fired from the force for no reason. He was just smelling that cocaine because he recently busted someone. He's like, wow, this cocaine kind of smells like that cocaine from the last bust. He was double checking to see
Yeah.
if there was a ring he was working with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Using
Simple misunderstanding.
using the Fruit Loop method.
the Fruit Loop method. Yeah, Saddam is interesting. I mean, this takes us all the way to the end, though. I think, which
Right.
Yeah, more or less.
Well, okay. Well, we need to talk about Javi's mom, which I can't even remember her name.
Miss Elisandro.
Yes.
Conchita.
Something like that. Doña Alessandra. I don't know. But anyways,
You hit it with
she's-
the Italian.
yeah. She's taken over the operation.
She seems like one of the better people to have that role, to be honest.
Right.
Well, it kind of seems like she was making moves before
Yeah.
any of this went down. Like she was raising her son to be this way to like one day usurp the power from his uncle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And she was talking about how much violence and blood had happened before even Omar became head, and she's just kind of tired of it.
Very Lannister of her.
Yeah. But I mean, she does orchestrate the initial attempt on Omar Navarro's life to take it from him.
Which is a pretty fun scene.
Because she's under the impression that he killed Javi.
Yeah.
Because that's what the birds told her.
Yep.
And then when she finds out that that's not the case,
Yeah. She still kills her brother.
she still wants power.
Yeah, because power.
Because
Yeah,
Wendy
sweet
thinks
power.
that she can polite talk her way into running the cartel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wendy is like trying to manipulate the head of the cartel as a woman, appealing to her on her womanly values. You know what I mean?
She's trying to like the whole time she's telling her like, hey, they won't know Omar's dead. You'll tell them you're just the puppet leader, but for reals, you'll be the actual leader. And then she's like, but you'll actually be my puppet.
Yeah.
And I'll be the leader.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite work out that way.
Yeah, Wendy kind of lets that one slip from under her.
Yep.
Yeah, she does. It's where Wendy really starts slipping
Yeah.
towards the end.
And I get what you're saying for sure towards the end of this show, where our two main most, what's the word? Pragmatic characters.
Yeah. Well, and also just our protagonists, really.
Yeah. Our two most pragmatic protagonists like lose their edge and knife and kind of just let go. They kind of just
Yeah.
set all the pieces in place and watch them move, you know?
They take a more reactionary role
Yeah,
towards the end. But I mean, it's also like, man, there's so many people with their hands in the pot at this point.
it's true.
They can't control it anymore.
Yeah, at a certain point, any type of meddling is just going to make everything blow up.
We do need to talk about Wendy's biggest affront in the entire series. The thing that she's willing to kill her brother. She curiously draws the line at election fraud. That's like something she won't
that's
touch.
weird.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't so much the fact that there was fraud, but the fraud was going against her political views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she was
For
like
Republicans.
opposed to the guy who was
I
making the
can't have
machines.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
I can't have the Republicans throwing elections.
Interesting choice, but that's not even the part I'm talking about. The biggest wrongdoing that Wendy had is in the scene where her and Marty are driving in the car. And
Oh, man.
they get into a bit of a road rage incident where Marty gets out, punches that guy, beats him, really.
Yeah. Who knew Michael had hands like that?
But
Marty.
right before, Wendy is insulting Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, I know. This song
Yeah,
sucks.
you know what? I
This
did
song
audibly
sucks.
gasp.
And I
That's
was
what
just
she
like,
said.
what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, Wendy, you've never been more wrong this entire show. And I
Yeah.
loved Ben.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Honestly, I like my chest feels hot thinking about it again. It was like really upsetting to me.
That's
It's
a
like, don't you
Todd-
talk about my man Todd like that.
No, that's a classic.
With the voice of an angel.
Yeah.
And then she makes that dude come to punch her.
Oh yeah, that dude is gonna beat up Wendy. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she is an expert button pusher.
She really is. She's
She
good
pushes
at it.
buttons like
Just like her
a
dad.
hyperactive little kid on an elevator.
Yeah.
Her dad's good at that button pushing too.
Yeah.
That's where she gets it probably.
Yeah. And I mean, part
And
of
she seems just about as functional an alcoholic,
Oh yeah.
which Charlotte seems to be inheriting.
What I love about this show too is you just get to see like the lack of love completely, but there was no love from the beginning I'm talking about between Marty and Wendy. Like it's like what little love they have and that they try to like nurture throughout the entire series is like completely stomped out, I feel like, by the time 4 starts. And I guess they kind of rekindle things. I mean, I'm getting close to like, you know, the finale. I don't want to like get there yet, but I'm just saying it's an interesting series in that way that like the 2 protagonists who happen to be a couple, they don't really have a lot keeping them together. In fact, one of
No.
them is just
Well, it's like the kids, you know.
yeah,
Well, the kids and being killed by the cartel.
that too.
Yes, yeah, they're
they need each other.
They're on this this boat, you know what I mean, and they gotta get to the end of the rapids, and they need each other to do it. Throughout the series, the way that they say "I love you" to each other changes, and that's something that I really love. Like right around like season 2, 3, there's a couple of those "I love yous" that are thinly veiled yous.
Yeah.
The way they say it to
love
each other,
you.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's at some points it's genuine, and some points it's like part of the routine. At some points it's like I'm saying this so that we can actually feel it, but I really love it when those love yous are actually just yous. It hits so hard.
Yeah.
You gotta
They'll,
love
like
that.
finish arguing, and Wendy will tell him like love you, and he's like love you too.
Gotta love that that couple therapy going on where
yeah.
Marty's
That whole arc.
oh, it's so good. Marty's initially paying the therapist to agree with him, and then
The reveal when she's like, what does it say when both people in couples counseling are bribing their counselor? You are both paying me money.
And then they're both like, how could you?
yeah.
and then
What?
and then they spill the beans about the cartel, and she's like, and then they have to pay her an exorbitant amount of money, to which she buys a Lamborghini.
I was gonna say I really like that she goes straight yellow Lambo, just like Frank Reynolds.
Yeah. She could have got away with it, you know.
Yeah.
She,
Huracan.
you know.
And then she gets killed because of the Lambo. Amazing. That was a great arc.
Yeah,
that's
that
really
is
good.
fun.
That's
That's
that good dark humor that is within this show.
When and then like later on, Charlotte asked Marty like, "Well, what happened to therapy? Aren't you guys in therapy? Don't you need to go back?" And she's like, "Oh, she moved."
Yeah, she moved it. Like, yeah.
Into the ground.
Actually, she didn't move. But I guess as we propel to the end here, the show, the final season kicks off with they like to do this a lot. They like to show us a scene out of context and lead up to it later.
Yep.
But we start off with this car accident that at first is a little confusing because they're like, oh, well, we're already packed.
Like, wait, why are you packed?
Why are you packed? I'm confused. And then they get in this really nasty looking car accident that...
But in America's highest rated minivan.
oh, yeah. And I was like, man, that minivan is so safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that they flipped so hard. Do you guys think that this was a hit attempt? By the KC mob?
No, I think it was
just an accident.
Genuine accident. Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
In El Paso when that trucker hit the freeway and closed it down for 3 months because he was trying to get his water bottle. I assumed it was something similar.
3 months. Oh, was that the thing flipped over?
No, he like rolled. There's an underpass or like
downtown,
an overpass downtown.
Yeah.
And he went up the sidewall and like almost took
Yeah.
down the overpass.
That was
he was
gnarly.
like up on the bank. Yeah.
I remember that kind of.
I remember that. But yeah, this is sort of, everyone ends up being okay from the car crash. And I guess the big takeaway we have from the scene is...
I really wished Wendy had died in that.
Yeah, I was really hoping Wendy was going to die, but... What a
it's
bummer.
just another big step for her. Her original straying from the path, if you will, happened when they were in a car accident and they lost their unborn child.
Yeah.
It throws them off this crazy trail that eventually leads to them working for a cartel, Wendy becoming a total megalomaniac. And in this one, it's more like the family's gonna be okay. Like we made it out of this. We are. It's the showrunners telling us no, the Birds are untouchable. Like they are the most powerful people here. Like they are going to make it through any situation.
From that line of dialogue with the priest, Omar Navarro's priest, who says, what sign is it going to be that you all need to walk away from it? It did seem a little bit like they were leading in that, but yeah, I think your assessment's pretty on it, man. Because even Wendy says, no, it's a sign that we're going to be okay, that we're going to make it through it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is an interesting choice to start you with that cliffhanger, and then for it ultimately to be, no, everything's all right, but it's not what you'd expect, I guess. But that's really what launches us into the final
act.
The final act, which is maybe like 2 episodes, 1 episode.
Yeah.
I can't think of when the car crash is revealed that it's okay.
Yeah,
I think it's like the last or second to last episode. Yeah.
This is when they're starting the gala,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, unfortunately we have Ruth dying, which is a bummer.
I can dig it.
Called it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Someone's got to die for it.
There was something I was thinking about today. I shouldn't have even said anything yet. I should mull on it.
Well, you
see
already
if I
have,
can
so.
remember what the point I was trying to make. I really like the musical cues with Ruth, like the playlist that she's listening to.
The MBH Street Volume 2.
Well, it's like earlier on, she's hitting like the Notorious B.I.G. You know what I mean? It's all about like her dreams and wanting something bigger. By the end of her arc, we're getting Nas's album. What's it called? Illmatic, I'm pretty sure. Which is like Nas has made at this point. He's looking back on like his struggles to get him to this point and the choices that led him there. And it's all about like Ruth. Marty goes on the whole time, like it's one of his rationalizations, like, no, that's not our fault. People make choices. They made their choices, and that's why they're dead. And this is Ruth's last couple of like big choices that she has to make that ultimately end up putting her in the ground.
Yeah. There's also a ton of licensed music in this last season, too.
Shout out to Killer Mike from Run the Jewels. That was really exciting.
Shows up in the diner.
What a funny little cameo.
Yeah.
Killer Mike just shows up.
I really like that.
That's just one of those things where it's like Killer Mike's a fan.
It's like, whoa, dude, I was supposed to see you like 2-3 years ago, but you guys keep rescheduling the show, and I eventually asked for my money back. When are we gonna do this?
When am I gonna get my money back?
What a bummer, man. So yeah, I guess final scene. Ruth's dead. They go back home. The Birds seem to have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
They somehow scrapped. Really, Ruth dying is what made it possible for the boat to stay afloat.
Yeah,
literally and figuratively. And then
because Ruth wasn't even. It was something about her signing over her owning rights or something like that, or she wanted them to sign over their owning rights.
Well, she took over.
Yeah.
She now had the controlling share,
right?
Yeah. But then we have Saddam, who shows up again. They kind of put him on the back burner for a few episodes.
They bribe him with his job back and all.
Oh
that.
Yeah.
He has supposedly taken it. Why he stopped the investigation as a bribe too, because he had damning evidence for Wendy.
But then he's like, I'm back. I'm gonna turn y'all in.
I got this goat friend here.
I got your goat. And then, as we think, oh no, little Jonah comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to black.
Marty and Wendy are almost doing the Jack Nicholson. Yeah.
I love that moment where Saddam is just like, y'all don't get to just buy your way to freedom.
Yeah.
It's like, no, sometimes we'll kill to get there.
Yeah.
If
won't
buying
just
doesn't
buy.
work, we'll put you in a furnace and make you dust.
And then they did.
Yeah.
And then presumably the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is where we're
well,
left.
I mean, they reached a point where
They got everything they wanted.
everything's legit.
They kept
now,
the family
right?
together. Yeah, they have legitimized their business, which is like what Ruth was trying to do, what Omar was trying to do, what the
Wendy
Snells had
and
no
Marty.
interest in, I guess. But yeah, they pulled it off. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They're the ones that actually pulled it off.
I guess they're still technically in bed with the cartel, though, aren't they?
Well, like they had set it up to like once all the deals had been made, the distribution was set up that they were going to be able to then just
Back
walk
up.
away.
Hands off. Yeah. Overall kill count 230 bodies
Huh.
throughout the entire series.
Really?
Does that include animals?
No, but it does include nameless citizens in like cartel hits and stuff like that.
That is way more than I thought it would have been.
You guys want to hear like the kill counts as to who has the most kills?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, I definitely want to hear that.
Okay, first is Laguna's cartel. That's
Okay.
124 people.
Oh, it's that scene at that carnival thing.
Yeah. The
baptism.
That's where they're really kicking
dope.
up that. And the baptism, yeah.
The second, guess who?
Oh, I can see.
Oh,
it.
you can see Darlene Snell, 63 kills.
Hot damn, Darlene.
Dang, dude, she's got the only double digits of any
That's
real
way
person
more than
in
I would
here.
have thought. What are the
Wow.
other Darlene kills? Did she kill
You know,
a whole
I'm gonna
crowd
have
of
to go
people?
through these probably. Let's see. After Darlene Snell, we got Nelson with 7.
The hitman. We
Um,
didn't talk
which
about
is
much, but I mean,
kinda
he's-
cheap.
He's just he's a hitman.
He's
He's
a
a
hitman.
quiet, stoic hitman. We share a name.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty much it.
I forget his name's Frank.
Hey,
when you said
Tocayo.
Frank, I was just like, who? Nelson?
Like, I don't know any Franks.
Dell has 6. The Navarro cartel has 6 on camera versus the Lagunas cartel having 124.
they were losing that war before they got the FBI to take them out.
Those are
like,
rookie
they were going to
numbers.
lose.
Then you pump those numbers up.
Then it's FBI agents with 4. Then it's Helen Pierce with 4.
Nice.
Ruth Langmore with 3. She's tied with Camila Alessandro Javier, Jacob Snell, and Omar Navarro. Marty only has 2.
What's Wendy's body count?
2.
2?
Yeah, they don't really get their hands dirty all that much. I mean, Wendy kills the priest,
Oh man, I forgot about
the
that.
preacher. Sorry,
So
not
that's
Yeah.
3, isn't it? Because, like, do we count Cade as one of her bodies? You know what I
No,
mean?
that
She set
goes to
whole thing
Nelson.
up. That goes to Nelson. She just gets the assist.
Yeah, that's gets a little sketchy too.
Yeah, if we want to call assists, they would get up there. Yeah, Cade Langmore. They technically give Wendy the assist on that.
Interesting.
She's Scottie Pippen, and she's got Ben.
Oh,
Ooh,
Well,
and you know
that's a
who else
Nelson
has a
one, too.
kill? That bus that hits that puts his mom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Mean Girls
does-
moment.
Yeah, she got mean girled.
yeah.
Dang, a lot of these are Nelson on orders from Marty Bird or Nelson on orders from Wendy Bird. Interesting.
See, that boy Nelson, fine employee.
Gets the job done always.
Yeah.
I love that scene where he comes to get Ruth though.
Yeah. The intensity of Ruth trying to coach. I always forget her name. The lady
is it
from
Blue Cat?
The Blue Cat, yeah.
What is her name?
I'm going to call her
Rachel.
Becky.
Rachel.
Rachel. It's a different plain white name. When she's coaching Rachel, like, hey, okay, so like this is how you shoot a gun, and I'm gonna need you to pay attention
Right
because
now.
you're gonna have to shoot this trained killer as soon as he gets out of the car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
She's
She
lucky
shoots him with a
pulled that
bolt
off.
action too. He's
Yeah, she pulled it off.
Yeah, great shot, first one.
Yeah, good thing that scope was set up, or who knows what would
True.
happen.
And it was rainy, and it was dark.
Yeah, that's not a great scenario for your first time shooting a gun.
crazy.
And you're
She
shooting at
channeled,
someone.
Mark Wahlberg and Shooter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She was like, "Guide me, wind god."
What a ridiculous movie Shooter is.
Oh, man.
Shooter is so bananas.
I really enjoy watching that shitty movie.
I love at the end when he's
the like snow
and they're just like
confrontation.
the bodies are flying in the air.
He's shooting him with the 50 cal.
Yeah, it's so stupid, man, but it's amazing. It's so enjoyable.
Because that reminds me of Smoking Aces, like the final.
Oh, that's
confrontation.
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Which is great film.
That's a real dumb movie too.
So overall with Ozark, I mean, the closest comparison would be naturally Breaking Bad.
5.
Out of 5?
No, I'm saying that's 5 Breaking Bad comparisons,
Oh.
which isn't a lot. I think we got away with.
You're pretty
quite a
good.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just meant Breaking Bad aside, as a general series, what would you give it?
You know, I was thinking about this because I know you're a numbers guy. You
I
always
am.
like
I do
to
like a
number
rating.
something.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll probably be among the lower. I think I would give it, if I'm IMDb, I'd give it like a 7.9.
That's still pretty good.
Like, it's real close.
Worth your time, at least.
Yeah, I would say it's worth watching. I mean, obviously we had to cram it in, so it feels a little different. I think they could trim a little bit. I think there's a few. I wanted a few more moments where the episode ends with something that's like I have to watch the next one, and sometimes I didn't feel like that all the way. It's got a slower pace to something like Breaking Bad 6, but for me, I just I feel like the ending, it's not super clean. I would have liked something maybe a little more finite. I would have liked something with maybe a little more karmic justice for some of the Bird family.
Nah.
It's interesting how they come in and just sort of, do whatever they want and pay little consequence. I mean,
I wanted to see one of them die.
yeah, like someone should have got it. Maybe one of the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe something just to really teach Wendy a lesson.
I honestly thought like Jonah was going to get shot or something
Yeah.
like that,
But, and then also the cut to black at the end. It's a little much.
It's a Sopranos ending.
Well, don't spoil the end of Sopranos for me. I still haven't seen it. But.
Man, it came out 25 years ago.
Pop culture spoiled the end of Sopranos. For me.
No, I haven't had it spoiled yet. I'm being serious.
Oh, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Insane.
I've been dodging bullets.
Are you
what I mean?
watching it?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But one day I will.
Okay.
And I won't know what the ending is when I get around. I've been watching Ozark for a month, man.
That's true. We
I
got to
don't
get through
time for
Survivor
that.
first.
Yeah, I got to get through Survivor. Yeah, look, I think it's really good. I think some places are a little slow. I think some seasons are better than others. What are you gonna do? That's just TV. But I think it's worth watching. It's got very interesting characters. It's just I don't know if I'd put it in that classic tier or even must watch. I'd put it under you like crime? You like crime dramas? Then you'll enjoy Ozark. That's what I would say.
How about you?
I really enjoyed it. I look forward to like taking my time and going through it again one day. Not like immediately. Let it sit for a little while. You know what I mean? I really liked the ending that they won out. Like the ultimate bad one over. Life very rarely like cleans up the way you would, especially for somebody involved in like cartel money laundering and also influencing American politics. Those people just win. You know what I mean? Like unless you get like ousted, but then you have the Supreme Court or like the federal courts not releasing Ghislaine Maxwell's Black Book. You know what I mean?
And also, if you're any other character in the Ozark,
yeah.
Yeah.
no one else wins.
No one else wins except the birds.
But it does tie into that invasive bird
Except
species
for 3.
they talk about at the beginning.
The starlings or whatever they're talking about.
They make that reference right at the beginning, and that's really what they're talking about.
That's them, you know what I mean?
that is them.
They come, they pick off of the dead bodies in the Ozarks, and ultimately the invasive species wins at the end. And they just off to go do the next thing and ruin somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Because they might be out of the money laundering game and the drug cartel game, but Wendy's got all that political power. Like, ain't nothing good coming to that.
But they also have the best resource of all, and that is money, my friend. That is money, 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 money.
I don't want to give it like a rating because I already looked at the actual like IMDb Rotten Tomato numbers. But I'd say I would agree pretty in line. It's got an 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like that's a pretty solid score. I'd have to agree with that for the most part.
Yeah.
I was satisfied with how unsatisfying the ending was. I guess is the best way to put it. I had already heard that people hated it, and I was like, oh no, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think hate might be a bit far.
Yeah.
It's not Game of Thrones.
No, it's not.
Yeah, like I saw people calling it a terrible ending. It's like, no, you might not have gotten what you wanted, but it's not your show, stupid.
Well,
people don't like ambiguity either.
yeah.
I love ambiguity.
That'll always drop you a 0.5 or a 1 on IMDb. I have had more time to marinate with this show since it's coming out and watching it develop over time. And I have like more of a personal connection to this show. I feel like.
Well, you don't think I could have connected personally with this story?
No.
Rude.
That's rude.
As I'm saying, Fact, no. But what I was going to say is, this is pretty on par, I think, with something like a Breaking Bad. I think it elevates beyond just a normal crime drama. This is like, it's got its own flavor. Definitely, like I can't equate it quite so much to something else like a la like The Wire or something like that. You know what I mean? It's expertly directed. The cinematography is awesome. It's got its own distinct color palette. It's got its own typography. The way they lay out the O on every episode, giving you, you know what I mean? It's got its own flavor.
I'm just trying to guess, like, okay, like what's the matchstick for?
And I have a feeling that it's gonna influence some shows from here on forth.
For sure.
And they pulled a great George Costanza and on a high note. You know what I mean? They didn't drag it on too long. I feel like 4 seasons, 4.5 seasons, this was the right spot. This was the good spot to stop. And this whole series as a whole is just putting out little fires everywhere. Little fires. Something springs up. You got to put out this problem. And I was thinking about this today. I was like, why did the ending for me of the last season kind of fizzle out? And it's because it's a lot easier to create problems than it is to resolve them. And,
creating problems is real easy. I could do that all day.
I mean, even from like a writing and production standpoint, like just like it was with Lost or just like it is with another mystery show, it's easy to put mysteries there. It's very hard to satisfyingly, reveal them.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
So for that reason, for me, I would probably put this right around with the Rotten Tomatoes at like 8.5. I'll probably rewatch it again someday. But I think I would definitely recommend it to a friend.
Yeah.
Especially if you liked Breaking Bad. I'd be like, yeah, dude, give it a whirl. You'll like it.
Give it a whirl.
There's not even a character as unbearable as Walter Jr. You'll love it.
Hey, and they have breakfast just as much as they do in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, there's another similarity. Lots of breakfast.
Lack of cereal, though.
Less cereal, just as much breakfast.
I lost count. Is that 8? I don't know. Maybe it was 7.
I think 6.
Shoot.
Yeah.
No, I said 6 earlier.
So I was gonna ask any final thoughts, but I guess those are final thoughts. You guys feel like we missed anything? Obviously, we're just kind of glazing over this.
I mean, there's a lot going on.
There's so much going on.
I'm gonna say confidently we hit everything. Everything worth talking about.
The big points, I think.
Yeah.
This was the end all be all discussion. Just listen to this podcast again. You don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah, everybody else's opinions on this series are stupid, including yours. But
yeah,
why don't you leave them in the comment section below?
Yeah, we'll look at them. I guess
I might check it out.
Take a little second to go up and hit that like button too if you're watching this.
Damn,
right
share
right after negging them. Jeez.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Love
if you share us on Reddit, share us on Facebook, share us anywhere, put us on Twitter, help us get our name out there. If
Write
you can,
the URL for this video on a bathroom stall somewhere.
Yeah, and then point it to a hole.
What kind of hole?
Just ones that are there.
Like an accessory hole? Like
one could say that.
An unglorious hole? What type of hole?
Well, Memorial Day just happened, so there would be some glory happening.
Be some glory to this hole.
Interesting. I don't know where this is going.
If you're listening on a podcast platform right now, i.e. Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please be sure to go to the top of our page, hit follow, and hit 5 stars. It helps us get our name out there, and you'll get every episode as it comes out right into your feed.
Yeah.
You don't even have to think to yourself while you're driving around, listening to the same album, 5 times in a row. Man, what happened to those uninformed movie review guys? It'll be right there. It'll be right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Do it. Well, thank you for listening to our discussion on the Ozarks. Now we're on to some regular business.
Sorry.
Ozark. Damn it.
You
I
almost
made it through the whole podcast. I was so close.
you
Ozarka? It is not Ozarks.
You sound stupid. What an idiot.
Now I've confirmed the audience's suspicions. I know the whole time they're like, this guy sound like he might actually be kind of stupid. And
Yeah.
now they know for sure.
Frank also says the Walmarts.
Sonics.
Memories
I went to
of
Sonics
a murder.
before I came over here. Hey, we all messed that one up.
Memories of a murder.
All right. But that is going to take us on over to Just kidding. We're not doing that this week. Today we're doing recommendation corner instead.
Yeah.
Let's get
Recommendation corner.
I like that.
David, what have you
can
been
hit
watching?
Can I hit a ding ding in post for that?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
David, what are you watching? What should people watch?
Everything Everywhere All at Once is what everyone needs to watch.
I've been meaning to watch
Thursday.
this. Oh,
Thursday
cool.
morning.
I'm going to say it's incredible.
Nice.
I'm going to say it's the best movie I've seen all year.
Wow.
I'll go further. I'll say it's a movie for everybody. It's insane.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's going to be for everybody.
No, it's for everyone everywhere all at once. It's
You son of a...
it's crazy, man. I mean, you have awesome kung fu choreography,
All right, I like that.
and then you mix it with insane levels of multiverse. They come up with their own original take on multiverse, and it's a movie that's just completely exploring that, visually amazing, and then if you couldn't make it any better, just hilarious. I mean, absurdly, like the theater was dying of laughter at some of these scenes.
Oh, I
man.
love that.
It is so funny.
It's an A24 joint too.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Nice. Is it a South Korean movie?
No, it's an
not
American
dubbed,
movie. It's
right?
by the Daniels. They did Swiss Army Man.
Oh
Okay.
man, I love that movie.
Great movie. And just like Swiss Army Man, it's got a lot of heart in it, along with the absurdity. There'll be times where you're crying from laughter, and then you'll just be crying, regular crying.
Wow.
And then, shoot, man. I mean, it's so good. It is so good.
And it's only playing, for my information, at the East Side.
Yeah, you gotta drive to the East Side Alamo, which was very nice. Very nice East Side Alamo.
Yeah, it's a very nice facility.
They got the little button.
They
to
do.
alert your
Although
server.
their trays kind of suck.
They don't move. The
No,
trays don't move.
and
They are
they're small, so you
stationary.
gotta
No articulation in the trays, huh?
No.
You got to lean or just put it in your lap.
I also started watching The Baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Hulu. It is British. It's real British.
Oh, you mean like you got to listen?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys. You know, they get in there. It's like these guys are from like Ireland or Wales or something, and they got this like thick accent. You're like, where's my subtitles? But it's really funny. It's very dark. It's got a twisted sort of feeling to it. In a weird way, this is even a weirder way to compare because I didn't really like this movie all that much, but it's a lot like Vivarium, but more humorous. Like, imagine the humor is at the front point of it.
Okay.
And basically, it's about this this woman. She's hanging out with her two best friends. They're having a poker night. They're smoking cigarettes and drinking beer, and except one of the friends who has a newborn baby. So they all agreed to take the night off and hang out, but she had to bring her baby. Selfish lady.
Wow.
Yikes.
And this friend who is single and just uninterested in that life, typical millennial. She's like,
I.e. us. Me.
she's like, "Wait, you had to bring the baby? You couldn't blah blah." So then at this party where she's having this confrontation, the other friend is also like, "Oh, I'm also like 3 months pregnant." So then this lady is just feeling abandoned, and through an event that I won't spoil, she ends up having to take care of a baby that quite literally lands in her arms. And every time she tries to set this baby down or pawn it off on somebody, those people die in like an instant.
Fun fact, you cannot pawn a baby. They will
No.
not give you any money for that baby. In fact, they'll alert the authorities.
You're not
Depends.
going to the right place. man.
I was going to say, it depends what country you're in.
Who's your pawn shop guy?
Hey, who's your baby dude?
I'll tell you after the podcast. But yeah, it's interesting. It's got a little bit of that like kind of Omen vibe to it.
Okay.
Creepy demon baby.
Yeah.
British comedy.
This is not the one with Adam Scott, right?
No.
Because there is one similar.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking
That's
about.
a movie,
is
and
a movie.
it's pretty delightful.
It's called Damien or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's something
Little
about it's like the
Damien or-
kid's name, but
Yeah.
that is a fun watch.
That is-
okay.
I mean, that seems very Omen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just as Damien.
But it's like, yeah, same thing. The comedy's up front. It's
Yeah.
like he's dating this lady, and her son happens to be like
The
the
Antichrist.
spawn of Satan. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what I got for you guys.
Cool.
Go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once before it's
Yeah,
out in theaters.
dude, I'm going to need to check that out.
Yeah, for real.
You
I'm
will-
gonna regret it
You
if
will
I miss
want
it.
to see it in theaters. It is a theatrical movie.
Nice. Nice.
Danny, what have you been watching?
I've been watching a couple things. Recently, we've been watching concurrently. I've seen The Staircase, which is the Netflix series. It's about 13 episodes long, about the Michael Peterson 2001 murder case that ended up spanning like 17 years.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to interject here really quick. The 13 hit it. There's a video game that they're playing in the Ozark. I didn't do any notes for this. It was just regrettable. There's a bunch of things in my mind that I made mental notes of. There's a video game that they're playing. It's called like Desert Warfare. It's a straight up like Call of Duty Modern Warfare ripoff.
Yeah.
That game already exists in another Netflix original series, 13 Reasons Why.
Oh, weird.
So they're in like the same.
They're in the same universe.
Cinematic universe.
That's weird that they made up a game and then later that guy's just playing Gears of War.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird to have a licensed one and have an unlicensed one. Interesting.
Sorry, Danny. Continue with your Rex.
So yeah, The Staircase, great murder documentary about a real case that is still inconclusive, to which a man went to prison for 8, even 10 years of his life with inconclusive evidence for killing his wife, quote unquote. But The Staircase is The Staircase on HBO's The Staircase, which just came out, is an actual like dramatization featuring Toni Collette and Colin Firth. Actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Patrick Schwarzenegger, is in it, and he's actually pretty good.
Is he the chubby one or the fit one?
He's fit, quite fit. They also got that white kid from that movie Chronicle, who also played the Green Goblin in the Andrew Garfield. I don't know his name.
James the one that looks like a little sickly most of the time.
Yeah, that one. It's awesome. It's excellent. It hasn't concluded yet, but it's pretty sweet. I mean, if you watch, we were watching them concurrently, but we've seen them before. I would recommend watching the Netflix series first, just to like familiarize yourself a little bit, and then you could probably enjoy the HBO one more. But
then if you enjoy both of those, you're like, wow, I really like watching people go down staircases. Just toss Showgirls on.
Or just throw yourself down a staircase.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend it.
You might survive. Also on HBO, which I was talking about earlier, is called Winning Time. It is a awesome show featuring John C. Reilly and a few other names that I can't recall. Not too much big stars, but it is basically it's based on a book, I think, but it's the retelling of the Lakers dynasty, the LA Lakers basketball dynasty from like the 80s, where they just completely dominated the 80s, came from like being a crap no one team to like dominating the world of sports. I know like a modicum of like basketball, like barely anything. And it's not super sports heavy where you need to know everything about basketball. It's very much an enjoyable comedy drama show also. But I mean, the people they get to act out, Magic Johnson looks just straight up like Magic Johnson, acts just like Magic Johnson. They got a guy that looks exactly like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Larry Bird, like it's a really great, but they have guest directors. They have like Adam McKay, and then they have like Jonah Hill did a episode that was really good too. And since it's based in like the late 70s and mid 80s, they actually do this thing where it's like sweet grain over like really great high detail, like cinematography, but then they also cut to like what I would imagine would be like a high 8 film in certain like shots and stuff. So it's really cool, like almost like a home video kind of shot at certain points. Great dramatization, great, worth watching, will keep you going. That's what I got right now.
Okay, nice Rex, Danny.
Thank you.
Now that I'm done watching all of Ozarks again, started.
Ozark.
Oh no, there's like what 44 episodes, so I watched 44 Ozarks.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah. Idiots.
I love watching Lost. Game of Thrones is.
Yeah, I didn't watch all the Losts. I only saw a few of the Losts.
We definitely saw several memories of a murder.
Sons of Xanarchies.
Well, why would you pluralize everything, David? That's just stupid.
I like the sushis.
I ate a lot of pieces of sushis.
Forgot what I was talking about. Really excited to jump back into Outer Range. It's like a show that I got into right before I realized that the Ozark episode was coming up, and I was like, shit, I can only watch Ozark now. And Bong Joon-ho's is what I was watching for a long time. Bong Joon. Wrong button.
But it worked.
Wrong button.
But it worked.
Yeah, that'll work.
Ain't gonna go back now.
So really excited to dig into Outer Range again.
Great.
I am also rewatching Umbrella Academy currently. Originally going back into it, I was like, God, what a chore. I just finished watching this other series, and after the first episode, I binged like the first 5 or 6. I wasted a whole bunch of time because I just forgot how awesome all those characters are, how great of a story. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely start hitting it so you're not left out of our upcoming episode where we'll go off the movie trail again and hit another Netflix series.
What a plug.
That's a good plug.
Plug it up. Besides that, not watching a whole lot. Just trying to keep it dedicated to channel stuff so I don't fall behind again.
You gotta get that Jurassic Park.
I'm honestly
watching,
trying
man.
to think if there's anything else I've been watching. Not really. Been putting on 30 Rock to fall asleep at night. Forgot
they
how
finally put it on Peacock,
it's on.
right?
I don't know if it's on Peacock, but it's definitely still on Netflix.
They put it back?
Forgot how good the comedy writing is on that, and it's also a very easy show to passively watch, which I appreciate.
Office style.
Yeah. Down.
Have you? Well, just for both of you guys, I don't know when the Umbrella Academy is coming out again, but the new season of The Boys is this week too.
Yeah, I'm
Is this
excited to
Friday?
watch the new season of The Boys.
Oh.
Really excited to watch the new season of Stranger Things. My youngest
it's been
nephew
good.
just started the series. Like, he just blew through the first season. I'm really excited for him.
So far, season 4 is cool, real cool.
Yeah. Guitar Center
Centers.
is selling a limited edition BC Rich that one of the characters in the season plays. They have like the same one on sale at the line.
Oh,
Who's
I know
playing a
who.
BC Rich?
I know who.
Lots of metal nerds.
It's that. It's got to be the douchey older brother, I bet.
No, it's a new character.
Oh, interesting.
Nice Rex, guys. I like the
Yes.
look of your Rex.
Hey, thanks. You got a pretty decent wreck there yourself.
Thank you. Does that?
I think that concludes. Oh, this is what I'm watching right now, which is going to take us on to Character Limit Extended. Yeah, Rock Flag and Eagle, baby. What is the last CLE that we did?
666.
Oh man, did we really have to talk more about
Yikes.
Studio 666?
Yeah, let's make this a quick one, man.
Did any of us have the Hemingway, or
was
was
me.
that okay? So you had the Hemingway. What else you got for us?
It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Studio sucks. Am I right?
I was listening to an interview, and Dave Grohl had mentioned about how in the 70s it was so much fun, like the rock and roll movie. You know, like Kiss has a bunch of movies. There's like some Ozzy movies, I think.
Not familiar.
That's a reason why we're not familiar with them.
They're all bad movies, and the point of the movie is just to watch the band that you really like. You know, having fun, doing something goofy, I guess.
If I want to watch a band have fun, I'll just watch the series The Monkees. Thank you very much.
Oh, I mean, amen, brother. We could have ended it right there. But, you know, if the movie was shorter, if the movie was better written, if they didn't have Dave Grohl in 90% of the screen time, if the effects were either a little bit better or marginally worse.
Yeah, worse could have been better as well.
Yeah.
And dare I say, if the music had been better that they were working on.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of little things they could have done, but it was just too long, too bloated, and the parts of the movie that are fun, because there are some fun parts, are just you're like digging for them.
Yeah.
And by the time that you're getting to the end of that movie, it's like, what is this final act? I don't care. Please let this be finished.
Yeah.
Lord.
It stops being fun in any way and is just a slog. And I don't know what kind of Foo Fighters fan is down for this. I mean, I don't even know what kind of person is a diehard Foo Fighters fan.
I know some that are just like a little older than us.
Okay.
You know, that this is their stupid, immature kind of humor. And they probably would love it just because it's Dave Grohl. These are the kind of people that like slobber over any freaking music article where like, Dave Grohl puts on shirt and lets guy rock out on stage with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I love Dave Grohl. I
Cool
think
guy.
he's a cool guy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I think the Foo Fighters, have had their moments.
Yeah.
They do their job.
They do their job. They're like the new Rolling Stones. They just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Wow. You had to take it there, Danny.
Sorry.
The hard silence in the room when you hit it too. We were like, we've said some offensive things on the channel before, but that just hit kind of special.
Hey, I like Taylor Hawkins. Okay, don't get me wrong. Sorry for his passing.
It's too late. Don't try and do it now, Danny.
Also, you didn't do anything, or did you?
That you guys know about.
Yeah, and he's good in the movie too.
He is good in the movie.
He's good. But there's just not a lot going on with this one, man. I mean, that's it. What do you guys have to say?
I had the haiku, so I'll go second just to get in there because I'm pretty sure you were the book report, correct?
I said a lot.
I also don't have much more to say about this movie. Anytime somebody's asked me what I thought of it, I said, it sucked. Because I don't want to continue any further conversation.
Yeah.
Jumping off of what David's saying, there are some fun parts. It's like if the fruit part was the size of a cherry, but the rest of the watermelon was still the same size and it was all rind. You know what I mean?
Dang.
You wouldn't eat that shit because it wouldn't be worth it.
And the cherry's not in the middle. It's like somewhere in the rind.
Yeah, you don't know where it is. Yeah. You got to really dig through that just mess of rind before you get to anything worthwhile, which is like seeing Whitney Cummings get a chainsaw through her face and having her movie boyfriend sawed in half.
That's fun.
It's not worth it.
What an analogy.
Yeah.
I gotta say, bravo.
I had the poem for the review. I went poetic for my extended.
I like it.
I would recommend this to your enemies as a joke.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of those movies that, like, maybe if Best of the Worst is still around, like, they'll probably hit it, like, or if there's a new channel that's doing something like Best of the Worst,
like they're the actual age of Mr. Plinkett,
right? Like 10 years, 20 years down the line, they'll start watching this, or maybe even like people who are kids now will go back and watch this. Like, will you see this ridiculous movie? Yeah, man, this is a movie that, like, if you're curious about it, maybe just wait till it's on like Tubi or Pluto TV,
Crackle,
or Vudu or whatever, where you don't have to pay to watch it. Like, yeah, it's just not worth it.
That's the official UMR stamp of this movie.
Yeah, we rarely give an FF to a movie.
Yeah, unanimously, we're all like, skip. Yeah, this is one.
I can't think of one since like Scary Stories and
Scary
Dirty
Stories.
Work.
Dirty Work. Hard F.
Captain Marvel.
Hard F.
And at least Dirty Work had the decency to be offensive enough that where it was fun to talk shit about.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, this is a unique, like, it's horrible and I don't want to talk about it.
It's like
I'm over it.
dunking on this movie is like kind of too easy.
It's like dunking on a
Yeah.
little preschool plastic basketball hoop. You know what I mean?
It's
Fun
like
the first time. Yeah.
it's like doing a whole Jurassic Park series ranking. You know what I mean? It's like at a certain point, what else are you going to say?
Yeah, dinosaurs. They're crazy, right?
We're back on the island again.
What?
Why
Another
do we
theme park?
keep coming back to this island?
Oh, just wait till you get to Fallen Kingdom, David.
Oh, don't
Just
worry.
wait
It's
till
a
you
new island this
get-
time.
Wait, nope.
What a short and sweet little character limit extended. Can't stress it enough. Don't watch this movie. It's not worth your time.
Really?
But the good news is it's time for Peeps and Predicts, y'all. Ooh. And if you're asking yourself, what the hell is Peeps and Predicts? I just started listening to this podcast some hour, 20 minutes in for some reason, no context. Well, don't worry your pretty little head. Peeps and Predicts is everyone's favorite, very real, hypothetical debate segment on this podcast. Facts, true facts, where we take a set of two or more peeps, or people, if you will, and we pit them against each other in hypothetical predicaments, or predicts, if you may. And we have a nice little discussion, see who comes out on top.
You're so polite about your instructions.
I just want people to feel comfortable before we hop into this. I
It's
want
their
them all
choice.
Fair enough,
confused.
man.
Yeah.
All right, today we have Wes Anderson versus Thomas Anderson, Neo.
Nice. Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson's.
In who would be better at money laundering? I would say Neo
Yeah.
as Thomas Anderson.
Oh, he's a computer hacker.
He's a software
man.
engineer and a
Yeah.
hacker.
The files are in the computer,
Yeah.
like Neo is.
Look past the spoon.
Wes Anderson could make it look real quirky, but I don't know how much he'd actually money launder.
He could probably money launder in like making a bad film or making a film, but it's hard for him to make a bad film.
Yeah, he's too much of an artiste to
Yeah.
pull that off.
He would never.
And
do that.
his films don't make enough money to have the opportunities. Hey man, that's just a fact.
It's true though.
It's just a fact.
That's
is really true.
Shoot, man, that's more offensive than what Danny said about Taylor Hawkins.
Facts can't be offensive, David. They just are what they are.
They certainly can be offensive.
That's a you problem, not
Frank,
the
your
facts
face is
problem.
ugly.
Are you saying facts don't care about your
That's
feelings,
that's
Frank?
objective.
Not at that point, Frank.
Yeah,
Not at the point you're writing.
It's
not
unfortunate. It's an unfortunate, but he just wouldn't have the opportunities to hide that cash, man.
objective. Yeah.
Who's more likely to bluff their way through a high stakes poker tournament?
Wow. I don't know enough about Wes Anderson's character.
Is Neo allowed to wear his glasses?
Sure.
Is
I think
this
that's part of
taking place in the Matrix?
it. Ooh. I mean, who knows?
Because you could upload a file of great poker faces and just,
Can I throw this out here? To be a good poker player, you have to have the poker face. Mm-hmm. And
Poker face.
as we've discussed before, Keanu Reeves, human ball of clay, has no expression.
True.
So Neo,
Yeah, he cannot convey if he's
he
sad,
can't convey any emotion.
if he's worried.
He conveys enough emotion to give it away. If he had a really good hand, he might. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's me pretending to look at my cards. Whoa!
Yeah, that's his emotional range.
Yeah.
Good hand. Whoa. Bad hand. Whoa.
It's exactly what happens with Bill and Ted when they're playing cards with Billy the Kid.
Oh, man.
Whoa!
We have photographic evidence. Darn.
Historical evidence.
So, I mean, does Thomas Anderson take it on this one too?
Let me see. We're talking about Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, not so much Keanu.
Well, where Wes Anderson has the upper hand is having such a hard grasp over or such a steady grasp on the wide array of human emotions that he would be able to pick up on everyone's tells. We're assuming in this situation that they are at the same table, but that's not necessarily true. They could be in different states,
they
what I
could
mean?
be on a
Trying to get
Zoom
through separate
poker.
poker tournaments. They might not even be in the same tournament. So I feel like Neo he'll have the advantage in his bluffs, but Wes Anderson would have the advantages in calling other players' bluffs.
Now, the only thing I have to say, though, is that Neo is basically computer Jesus.
Yes.
Couldn't he just rewrite the program?
Well, that's what
while
I'm saying.
Playing poker.
If it takes place in the Matrix,
That is a big question.
Yeah.
then he can just upload the best poker strategies to himself.
Or even just literally change the cards
Oh,
at the
yeah.
table.
Yeah.
He could cheat his way through it.
True.
Can you read the predict one more time?
Who is more likely to bluff their way through a high-stakes poker tournament?
Thomas Anderson.
I mean, he ain't bluffing anything, though. Well, maybe he is.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't need to bluff if he could change the cards.
Ooh.
Or he could bluff because he can see everyone's cards because he's Neo Jesus.
You don't want to be calling that bluff.
I'll call Jesus' bluff.
But can you bluff when you know the outcome? Isn't bluff, like, by definition?
Yeah,
To
that's what I'm
be-
saying. He wouldn't
yeah.
need
To
to
deceive.
bluff
I think we should give it to Wes Anderson for this one.
because he's more likely to be in a situation where he
To
would have
need
to
to
bullshit
bluff.
it.
And he's a more keen observer of the human condition.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we need a tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Breaker.
Our tie-breaking predict is...
What it is.
Was it me? Who is most likely to smash someone's head in with a rock? Probably Neo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, he's got a way higher kill count than
Got a good
Wes
body
Anderson.
Wes
count.
Anderson, very low body count.
Yeah. As far as we know.
As far as we know, true.
I gotta look this up.
How many? Yeah, Google,
many
really
people has
quick? Can you Google
Wes Anderson
how many
killed?
people Wes Anderson has murdered?
Oh, it turns out that this question has not been asked on Google.
I'll put it on Quora so someone will get back to me.
Oh yeah, Yahoo
Yeah,
Answers is dead,
I feel like
unfortunately.
this does have to be a Neo while Danny's over here duck going. I don't even know why you're
No,
Googling.
it's
Yeah, of
not
course.
coming up. No.
What?
I can't even fathom in my mind full of bullshit. I can't even fathom a situation where Wes Anderson might need to
newsflash,
smash somebody with a
Wes
rock.
Anderson has not killed anyone
But if he did, he'd be like,
On record.
wow.
yet.
Just he's bashing Owen Wilson's head in with a rock, and Owen Wilson's just like, wow.
They're both
wow.
they're both wowing. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. It's great.
So progressing on to our champ is
Yeah. Neo, the one.
the one,
Versus
Green Lantern, the other one.
James Wan.
John Stewart.
John Stewart.
Stewart.
Still in the running.
Stewart. When's the last time you thought of that little wiener dog?
That's weird. For everyone at home, I had this. I had this neighbor who had this wiener dog who's just always yapping and biting at people, really.
Very mean.
And throughout the day, you'd hear him just going, Stewart,
Stewart.
Stewart,
Start
all the time.
through the walls.
Through the wall, you'd hear Stewart.
Through the windows, through the walls.
Yeah. Man, it's getting a little sweaty in here, isn't it? It's a little hot in this room.
Through the sweat drip down my... What are we talking about?
Stewart!
Oh, I already got that one.
What are you doing? Are you cheating over here?
Yeah, what's going on over there with that
'cause I want
little
that-
Post-it
You're a
daddy?
regular little Marty Bird.
Who's most likely to actually enjoy eating their protein bar, a la Snowpiercer?
Well, Neo has to deal with eating gross food from the Matrix anyways.
Yeah, he eats goop.
Yeah. And it's like, does this taste like chicken? Maybe that's why chicken tastes like everything. The computer doesn't know what chicken tastes like. So, maybe that's what it is.
He's like,
Dang.
you know what? This is some of the best goop I've ever had. As far as goops go, this goop's pretty
This
good.
is better than the amniotic fluid that I have to live on.
Yeah,
Versus John Stewart lives on regular Earth, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Can probably make his own food.
I don't think he's making a lot of
So
money, but,
But he's probably had some fine cuisine, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like
Dude,
a
he's an
Wiener
NFL star.
Schnitzel.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting he's an
Whoa.
NFL player, too. Yeah, this dude is living high life.
Yeah, he knows all about like scrimps and fettuccinis.
Now,
Scrimps.
professional athletes might eat some gross protein bars every now and then, but
Sure.
this is a protein bar in quotation marks.
Made of something.
Yeah. Buggies.
It's bugs.
Yeah, I feel like Neo makes sense. This is like with the character.
Dang.
Which is dangerous territory because we're heading to another like very
Unstoppable.
OP.
Yeah.
Dang it. Neo
the
Jesus
one.
came in here and just Supermaned his way out of
Yeah. Right out of the Matrix.
Flew around the skyline and poor CGI.
and
Come on. That's where we just end the episode right there. Good edit.
nothing. I wish I could create like a new word to just really encapsulate the disappointment that I had when that latest Matrix just like ended with the Rage Against the Machine cover.
Oh, an awful Rage Against the Machine
So
cover. Why'd
bad.
you have to bring that up again, man?
Because I want to be able to articulate it better.
And not have to suffer alone, apparently.
Yeah, misery loves company.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
That's right.
Well, speaking of joining us, here's what we got coming up. Next week, Jurassic World Dominion.
Is that the next one?
This
already?
movie's already
Yeah,
out.
It's next
It
Friday.
came out already.
Wait, what?
I'm pretty sure it's out.
No, it's next Friday.
Yeah, okay, well, who cares, really? And then we have...
For purposes of scheduling, we should care a little bit.
I'm going in with zero care. You guys better hope I don't have the book report.
Oh, I already
just
know
said.
this movie's gonna suck.
Then we have to rank the Jurassic Park movies. Christ.
June 10th.
Then we have the CLE for Elvis.
Which
And
I'm hoping is going to be a lot of fun.
I hope.
it got a 12-minute standing ovation.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say a 12%.
On Rotten
I was like,
Tomatoes.
wow.
I'm sorry, David. It's
Cons. No, sorry. And then lastly, we have... I skipped around a little bit. We have Umbrella Academy.
Hey,
at the end.
So.
Okay, cool. And Tim and Eric. Awesome show. Great job of the movie. Just kidding.
Yeah, that is after that. God.
It's not really. I'm not going to make you guys do that.
well,
Is it-
you'd be making David do it. I would be
Yeah,
a
I
willing
mean, it's pretty
participant.
great.
Yeah.
Let's just keep that and scrap Jurassic Park. I'll watch a 2-hour movie. I don't need to watch 8 hours of horrible dinosaur movies. Anyway, I guess that's all we got for today.
Should be.
Go launder some money.
Yeah, why don't you get into money laundering? Seems pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pop it right in the Maytag.
Just learn from Jonah's mistakes. Don't write your password down.
On a Post-it.
That's the real lesson today.
Yeah.